The Kings barely pull out a much needed victory against the Portland Trail Blazers. It was not pretty by any means. It took overtime against a banged up Trailblazers team that was not projected to be good even when healthy, but a win is a win. And this team desperately needed a win. And we saw last season plenty of times where the Kings would just barely pull out victories against subpar opponents. And sometimes that's okay. Now, is it a great sign? Maybe not, but we are still without Fox, without Lyles. But this was a huge, huge bounce back game from Domantas Sabonis, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Him just come out and be super aggressive. He had 27 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. And him and Malik Monk just willed this team to victory. The pairing of Sabonis along with a guard that thrives in the clutch, either Fox or Monk or both, is just such a good pairing because Sabonis, he's not a guy who's going to take over the scoring in the fourth. But what he can do is he can make some incredibly clutch plays. He had some incredibly clutch rebounds and probably some that he wasn't even credited with, but just tap outs to maintain possession. And Malik Monk carried us home just attacking the basket. Now, what I don't understand that I was really frustrated with was, well, first, I'm fine with not starting Malik Monk when Fox is out. I know other people want Monk to start, but really it's about who finishes the game right. But when I'm saying finishes the game, I don't mean coming in for the last 3 minutes. And I'll get to Keon Ellis starting because that's crazy. But I was begging for Mike Brown to put Malik Monk back in at least the 5 minute mark. He had only played 22 minutes in the game up to that point. And then he came back in at the 3 minute mark, and it just felt like we wasted 2 to 3 minutes with him not being on the court, where our offense just couldn't do anything. And I don't know what we expected was going to happen when you are out there with no ball handler. Davion is not a great ball handler. He's just not. With no Fox, Monk needs to be in the game for the last half of the fourth quarter. And that was just super poor planning by the coaching staff. And I don't get why Malik Monk in regulation is only playing 25 minutes. It makes no sense. He only played 4 more minutes than Keon Ellis. Make it make sense. He's the only guy that can really create something off the dribble for this team. And in the fourth quarter, that's exactly what you need. In the fourth quarter, it stops going from the regular Kings offense to a pick and roll based offense. But we tried to continue to run the offense the normal way, which just doesn't work as well in the fourth quarter. Davion had a really good game, but that's not his strength. Handling the ball is not his strength. Even when Malik Monk came back in at the 3 minute mark of that fourth quarter, Davion was bringing the ball up the floor. And we wasted like 2 possessions not getting Monk involved. Then there were times where we were only getting Monk the ball with like 8 seconds left on the shot clock. The whole 16-second possession was just us trying to get him the ball. Just have him bring it up. I don't understand. Davion is not the primary ball handler when Malik Monk is on the floor. And it just felt like we were wasting so many possessions by not just handing the ball to Malik Monk, saying, Domas, come set a pick, and go from there. So when Fox is out, we need more Malik Monk minutes. We probably just need more Malik Monk minutes in general. I don't care if he's shooting 4 for 16, because he's getting to the free throw line every single time. And he missed those 4 free throws early, but then I think he went 12 for 12 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter and overtime. Just absolutely clutch attacking the rim against a Trailblazers team that doesn't have a rim protector. DeAndre Ayton is not a rim protector. They don't have Rob Williams healthy. And for some of this game, the Kings did a great job of attacking the rim. And then for other parts of the game, they didn't. Mike Brown talked about how the game plan coming in was to attack the offensive glass because the Trailblazers aren't a great rebounding team. They have DeAndre Ayton out there who leads the league in rebounding, or at least did prior to this game. I think because Sabonis got one more rebound than him in this game, Sabonis will maybe lead the league. Doesn't really matter. It's a small sample size. DeAndre Ayton is not actually a great rebounder, or at least he hasn't been in the past. So we wanted to attack the glass against him. Sabonis could dominate the offensive glass against him, which he did. 7 offensive rebounds. We had 15 total offensive rebounds. We were living on second chance points, and we did our best work when we were attacking the rim. And at times, I just didn't understand why we went away from that, why we went away from going downhill. The offense looked much better in this game than it did in Houston and than it did against the Warriors. It was the best game for the offense without Fox. But there were times where we stopped going at the rim. The first quarter started out great. It's offensively, it started out great. Guys were cutting with purpose. Sabonis was looking to get downhill. Other guys were looking to get downhill coming off of screens. But then at times, like in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter at a point, we just stopped. It was like the possession really late in the game. I think it was like 40 seconds left. And Kevin Huerter just comes off and takes a contested deep three. Why? Malik Monk has gotten to the free throw line the past 3 possessions, or not all of them to the free throw line, but has scored on the past 3 possessions, 2 of them getting to the free throw line, the other one just getting to the basket and scoring a layup. Kevin Huerter had a good shooting game, but why are you taking that? It hasn't worked all game. And that happened a lot throughout this game of just dumb 3-point attempts. The Kings attempted 37 3-point attempts and shot 29% on them. Kessler Edwards took a terrible 3-point attempt. I think Chris Duarte took one. Kevin Huerter, like I mentioned, took one. I mean, everyone was guilty of this, of taking bad 3-point shots. And at times, especially in the second half, we were overcomplicating the offense so much. When guys had open shots, they were passing them up. They were trying to do the, pass up a good shot to get a great shot. No, they were passing up a good shot and taking a horrible shot. And that was really frustrating to watch. Just overcomplicating things. Taking contested 3-pointers instead of the open 3-pointers. Mike Brown totally redid the rotations in this one. Started Keon Ellis, which was super surprising, but I was super excited. And I thought Keon had a really solid game. I think he gives the Kings size and ball pressure that no one else really gives. Davion can give ball pressure, but he doesn't have the size. Like I really wish Davion was taller than 6 feet because he is such a great defender, but guys can just shoot over him. We can't switch him onto Jeremy Grant, which is a whole nother thing about why are we letting the switch happen so easily against Jeremy Grant. But I think Keon just gives size and defense that the team desperately needs. I thought he played super well, getting his hands on balls, 3 steals, didn't make too many mistakes offensively. So I thought it was a really solid showing from him. Defensively in this game, it felt okay. But then, Skylar Mays would just drive by one guy and get a layup. But then Shaedon Sharpe would just go to the rim and there's no help. And then Jeremy Grant would just get switched onto smaller defenders so easily. And there were just so many switch offs. And the Kings just couldn't get multiple stops in a row. There were some really good moments of guys collapsing in the paint and Sabonis going straight up and then someone else coming over and swatting the shot, of getting steals and forcing turnovers. I mean, the Trailblazers were trying to gift us this game, and thankfully we just barely took it. They had some horrible turnovers. We did as well in overtime, and that was something that was killing us. But we did do a good job of forcing turnovers as well. But it was just very odd. I think the new bench unit that we had in this game, which is, well, I say the new, it's kind of the old bench unit from last season. We had Kessler Edwards instead of Vezenkov. We had Len instead of McGee. We had Davion Mitchell back with that unit because he didn't start. And Chris Duarte did play 11 minutes. But I think what you get from guys like Kessler Edwards and Alex Len is just more stability, right? I've talked about this before. JaVale McGee is a guy that's going to be very volatile and can be very good and has been very good at times this season, but also can foul a lot, can make dumb plays. And I think Chris Duarte can definitely make some bad plays offensively that Kessler Edwards is less likely to make. I think those two guys just know how to play their role. I mean, that's something I've said about Alex Len countless times. Like, this dude just comes in and performs every single time he is asked to do so. He's just going to come in, block shots, rebound, dunk the ball, and playing alongside Malik Monk helps a lot, just like it helps JaVale McGee. So, shout out to Kessler Edwards and Alex Len for coming in and just playing solid defense and rolling to the rim in Alex Len's case and just being ready to catch the ball and dunk the ball. He had a big dunk on, I think it was Moses Brown. But I was talking about the Kings' turnovers. They very much tried to throw this game away, and the Trailblazers just threw it right back at them. It was such an ugly game. Barnes with that play where he picks up the turnover and then just chucks it down the court right to the Trailblazers. Kevin Herter just throwing the ball around like I don't even like he was blind out there. It was so frustrating to watch. But some positive notes. Davion made that huge play in overtime to kind of make up for some of the Kings' earlier mistakes in overtime, which he went and he stripped Jeremy Grant from behind and then threw it off him to get the ball back. He also hit that big three. He came in and absolutely performed because he looked horrible in the starting unit and he looked so much better off the bench in this game. 6 for 9. He was actually getting to the rim. I think I think what we see a lot of times from Davion is his first stint in the game impacts the rest of his game. When he comes in and knocks down that first three, I think it just gives him so much confidence. But if he comes in, misses a couple threes, maybe turns the ball over, I think it really impacts the rest of his game. But in this one, he had so much confidence coming in after hitting his first couple threes. He had a really nice drive and kick to Herter. That was clutch and like I said, made a clutch three. Had a bit of trouble not fouling in the first half, but cleaned that up. And like I said, like he's a really good defender. It's just the size. And he got switched onto Jeremy Grant a lot of times, and Jeremy Grant was just scoring over him. And Jeremy Grant looked really impressive and kind of showed why Kings fans wanted him. We were also getting dominated by Skylar Mays, who a lot of people probably don't know, but he played really well for the Blazers at the end of last season, and he's been around a bit and performed well. So it didn't necessarily surprise me, but obviously how well he played definitely was a surprise. He played 6 games for the Blazers at the end of last season and averaged 15 points per game. So I watched some of those games because he was playing against the Kings in some of those games. But he just kept driving by Kings players time after time, and it was super frustrating to watch. Thankfully, he was the guy to take the last shot because all of his buckets were inside, and his last shot for the win at the end of regulation was a step back three. So I was pretty confident that that was not going to go in. I think one thing that's really hurt the Kings in not having Fox is just the transition play. And you would think that, like, of course, the transition offense is not going to be as good when we don't have De'Aaron Fox. But it is downright horrible without Fox. Guys just dribble. First of all, we don't push the pace a lot without Fox. But second of all, when we have man advantages, it's more likely to be a turnover than it is for us to score. And we need all the easy buckets we can get without Fox, obviously, and without Keegan being able to hit a shot, which I will get to. But, I mean, it's just guys not attacking the rim in transition and just not playing fast enough. Yeah, Keegan took the most shot attempts of any King in this game with 17, and he went 4 for 17, 9 points. But he didn't have a terrible game. I mean, he just cannot get the ball to go down. He's getting good shot attempts. He's getting to good spots on the floor. He's creating some nice shots for himself, and he just can't get them to go down. I didn't think it would take this long for him, or I didn't think he'd be in a slump for this long. But like you truly can see, he is getting to the right spots. He is getting the right shots, and they're just not falling in. It's as simple as that. Thankfully, Herter is hitting some shots now, so that's good. Although both Herter and Keegan missed some pretty easy layups around the rim, especially early in this one. Keegan has done some other things well, much better defensively this season than last season. He was good defensively in this one. He was good rebounding the ball in this one. Speaking of rebounding the ball, the Kings let that offensive rebound happen on the last possession of the game to give the Trailblazers another chance to tie the game. I mean, that I was just face palming during that. Like, no way this is how it gets tied, right? But Harrison Barnes, he's bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like he had 12 points. He went 5 for 8 from the field. You'd think, oh, that's pretty good. He's sitting in the corner hitting threes. That's about all he's good for right now. He had that one good game at the start of the season and has done nothing since. He, before this game, was last in rebound rate in the league. He had 5 in this one, but I swear, every single rebound he gets, it's because it falls straight to him. And even then, it looks like he struggles to pick up the ball. Like he just has to play better. He is doing nothing defensively. He has been so bad. And I was talking earlier in the season, like, oh, I think we should make a change for defense in the starting lineup. Let's take Kevin Herter out. Yeah, no, it's Barnes. Like, if we're making a defensive substitution in the starting lineup, it has to be Barnes. The fact that he was still the best option to guard Jeremy Grant, like, that is why our defense was so bad. Like, that is the number one reason, is because we have to put Harrison Barnes on Jeremy Grant, and it feels like we have no other option. Kessler Edwards came in and did a much better job guarding Jeremy Grant, but Barnes just has to be better. He has to be better rebounding the ball. He has to be better defending his man, or he has to be creating some offense, because right now he's really not doing that either. And for most of the game, he just looks like a bystander, to be honest. He kind of looks like DeAndre Ayton at times, just standing around, because that's what Ayton does a lot. But at least Ayton can come alive and start hitting mid-rangers late for them to take the lead, right? Also, what I didn't understand, Ayton had 5 fouls for the longest time, and the Kings just, for the longest time, didn't attack him. Eventually, Monk, finally, when he came back in, and even it took a few plays after he came in, which I've already talked about, but it took a while, he finally started attacking him, and then that's when we were getting shots at the rim, because Ayton wasn't there to contest. We did foul Shaedon Sharpe out, which was big for overtime, but it felt like we could have done more to foul Ayton out. And I'm not talking about Sabonis post-ups. I definitely don't want to see that. I'm just talking about pick and roll, get downhill, and go at him. It'll be interesting to see if Fox is back for the next game. It feels like he was kind of talking about, like, he could have maybe even played in that first game in Houston, and he missed that game, then he missed the next game, then he missed this game, which I'm totally okay with. Like, get him totally healthy. But it feels like it's going to be very soon that he's back. So maybe this upcoming game, it is our first in-season tournament game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 0-1, kind of got robbed in that first in-season tournament game against the Warriors. So a reminder, our in-season tournament group is the Warriors, Thunder, Timberwolves, and Spurs. And only the top team in the group advances. It is a round robin. And then I think, it's one team from each conference gets a wild card. So the second, or the best second place team in each conference of the 3 groups in each conference. The Kings are at home for this game, and we get to see our new in-season tournament court, which some of them are good, some of them are bad, and some of them are just straight up wild, and I don't know what to think. The Pacers one is kind of the one I'm referring to there. And the Kings one, I don't know what to expect really. It has like gray on the outsides and then like a purple or a mate, like it kind of looks bluish middle. So I'm very interested to see the court. I'm also very excited to see the Kings play against Chet Holmgren, who I've been watching a lot, and he has impressed me a lot. He is just an insane rim protector and can create offense, which just looks crazy. Like him and Wembenyama being rookies together, just it's so fun to watch them both be these just like huge, lanky players that can handle the ball, are elite shot blockers, and can hit threes. Like it's so fun to watch. Sabonis will definitely be able to use his size to get inside on him, but of course Holmgren has the length to be able to block his shot. So that's the matchup I'm super interested in watching. SGA versus Fox is also a super fun matchup, but I don't know if that will happen, obviously, with Fox not playing. And so if it doesn't, then I'm just interested to see it like Keon Ellis and Davion Mitchell. Well, first, see who starts if Fox isn't starting, and second, see those two guys try to defend SGA. But, anyways, that is it for this episode of the Roll Report. I'm so happy the Kings ended their 3-game losing streak, even if it wasn't pretty. I'm just happy they got it done. And now we can move forward to more positive things. So I will see you guys to recap that game against the Thunder. Peace.